Hello and welcome back. I thought I'd do a little epilogue to the video I did the other day on GLP-1, the weight loss drug that's after 2 years creating destructive havoc for so many people. And of course the solution is to have an animal-based diet, animal foods, particularly with a lot of saturated fat, low carb, ketogenic or zero carb diet for guaranteed satiety, the natural way. Your body will register and send messages of being full and satiated. So if you do know anybody who's thinking of taking this drug, because like I said, next year it's going to be marketed even more because they're putting 2 extra hormones in and making more variants of the drug, which ultimately will cause more havoc. Perhaps steer them towards some of the statistics and the data that's coming out now after people have been on this drug for a couple of years, and let them know, what they're likely to encounter. It's interesting, I talked to a couple of young people the other day and they're fully aware of this drug, and particularly the fact that it destroys people's muscle mass. Because I let them know that this is going on the inside too, that all our precious organs are surrounded by fat, and this will start attacking that as well. So yeah, they were quite surprised, but this is how it is. It's quite evil, really. So yeah, and steer them towards the proper human diet. Now, speaking of diets, I had said at one time that I was perhaps going to do some more videos around veganism, but over the last couple of days I've had to reconsider, because these last 2 videos I made around how veganism hijacks the brain, of course, and how I unshackled myself from being sorry for the camera there, to the kitchen, shackled to the kitchen, preparing so much vegan food. Of course, it was open season for the vegans to come and drop their brutal and abusive comments to me. And it's interesting because I want to talk about conflict today, and it's something that I certainly don't want to be participating in. My life is about peace. But of course these vegans can't help themselves. They've got to come in and stir the pot up, hoping to get a reaction out of me, but of course that doesn't work. So I've got to say, across the board, any kind of dietary communities where there's infighting and people have to stand up to make a video, stand up, but make a video to express how they stand about something, or explain why they did something and that goes against the community's guidelines or whatever. I don't know. I don't want to get involved in any of that either. So anyway, I will be speaking about the benefits, obviously, of zero carb, but obviously in healing my body, and a myriad of other things that people are experiencing that they've had miraculously disappear as well by embracing a zero carb diet as well. So that's going to just happen anyway. But the truth is, I'm a body mind intuitive, and my goal is to help you to know about the healing system you have installed in you, how to harness that power, and also how to sort of, bring about the creation of the reality you want. It's harnessing human consciousness in a way that's soul-led as opposed to ego-led. And my feeling is, over the next year or so, we're going to see an enormous amount of conflict around us taking place around the world, within our own communities, within our own families, relationships. It's going to feel like it's on steroids. The emphasis will be on the financial side. Sorry about this, it's quite hot. I've got fans on. It'll be on the financial side. which is the material side, which is also equated to the ego because it's all about status and acquiring and keeping ahead of the Joneses and all that kind of stuff. And of course, the way to the life that the I guess society, the governments, the structures of the whole of society has told us this is a way to get ahead in life, also to have a happy life, a joyful life, a productive life. But of course, people are realizing it's all lies because they're not feeling fulfilled. They're certainly not in places where they're being productive. They're losing jobs. They're losing their houses. They're losing so much things. It's all financially based, as I said. So we're going to see more of this next year. And we're also going to see a lot of people have a spiritual existential crisis because of the focus they've had on a material life. And we're seeing that, it's crumbling. It doesn't hold up to give us what we've been told it would. So I see this then as reflected back as this conflict between the ego side of ourselves and the soul-led side of ourselves, because in truth, this is the journey that we're all on, and we all are on whether we like it or not. And it's going to be that way till we draw our last breath here. This journey of the chatter of our egos and our soul. Who's going to make the choices, the decisions, which is going to take precedence over, judging, criticizing, devaluing other people, or loving them, being kind, showing up the way, the truth is, it's really about treating each other, treating other people as we would want to be treated ourselves. That's what's going to really hit us, because that's the truth. A lot of the times we've been taught that if we adopt these certain behaviors and reactions and responses, that we can manipulate people to think and act certain ways, but we're realizing that a lot of that time that backfires on us, and it's not bringing us the true happiness that we all we want. We can feel that there's something missing. It's like we're all sensing we're living in this soulless kind of environment now, and nothing is really giving people the fulfillment that they're seeking. And things have changed, as we can see on the outside. But going into next year, we're going to see a lot more conflict. And like I said, it's mirroring that within ourselves. This is an opportunity for parts of our ego side that's been driving us here most of the time to just go back into the back seat, and the soul to come through and lead more. And power is the basis of the foundation of everything in this realm, and we come here to help to cultivate that within ourselves. It already exists, but we cultivate it to see it demonstrating outwards in the outside world, because we all have incredible abilities to create. We have this incredible mind that imagines things, but of course the ego, we've been imagining a lot of things that we don't want in our lives. And we're starting to now make that realization, and a lot of people are starting to have this realization, whether they're coming across material that's showing them that, these manifestation laws, if you like, that we're all governed with. In other words, everything on the outside is mirroring an aspect of ourselves. And we can prove that over and over. I mean, a lot of the conflicts that people are going to find themselves in, people accusing each other of certain behaviors, such and such as stingy, or, manipulative, or, uncooperative, all kinds of stuff. And of course, that would usually start some kind of conflict. But if we start to realize that that person's actually mirroring a part of ourselves. We don't want to admit it. We don't want to go inside. But the thing is, we do have to face these certain patterns of behavior that we're having as well, because they're being shown on the outside. It's the way we grow. And often adversity is a form of showing us these patterns. And if we can see that all of life is like this, it's here to show us in ourselves where our thinking is really off. I mean, we've all heard people many people say, I never have anything good happen in my life, you know. I always have bad luck. I always get the last of something, or it's just run out when I go to the sale. They've run out, I'm the one that misses out, or it'll be something that's negative. And of course, they're just reaffirming it, I should say, over and over. And it keeps showing up, you know. So if you're a person that, you know, has good things happen to you and you keep saying, well, you know, it always happens, it does. And I have that. I've had this ability to manifest. It's been something I just do easily, because a few times it happened, okay, that was a done deal. I didn't have to fight with myself whether it was going to happen or not one time. I just knew it was all the time, and it does. The only time something won't show up is when I have conflict in other areas of my life. Kind of ripples through and affects those as well, you know. So we have to look at, you know, some people could say they're really good at manifesting a certain thing, but not so good at others. So we have to look at, you know, where there's something that's amiss in our thinking again. And generally it's the way we're judging ourselves on a belief or a pattern that we have. And we tend to project that outwards to other people. And then we've got this other group of people that will say, you made me do that. You made me react like that. I always act like this when you're around. You make me do that. Well, no one makes you do anything, you know. Again, these are all clues to go within and look at yourself. Sometimes, though, I think as we start to get away from this egoic side and we get into a soul-led life, we often can just say to people, and this is what I've found has been effective, is to let them know that their thinking is imprisoning them in a way of life that keeps repeatedly showing up for them. And, you know, sometimes people will understand that. You know, they might not admit at first that, you know, they have this victim kind of consciousness, which we all go through, but, you know, it's being stuck in it, and letting them know that their thinking is perpetuating these cycles, and that you're not responsible for what thoughts they have in their mind, you know. So these kind of things and interactions with people, I think if we reflect on them and we look at them more deeply, we can see that it's an invitation for ourselves to look at ourselves and change, because that's what happens. And when you start to change and do these things, I mean, it took a long time to get these things habitual. Like I said, you got to break the patterns, the things you're doing every day that keep repeating itself. This Groundhog Day keeps showing up. You've got to break the patterns of how you go about your life, who you interact with, and how you interact, in order for your life to be different than it was the day before. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about that, because we have got conflict a lot that's going to show up next year. So if you can see it as an opportunity to forge a path for yourself and to create for you what you want in your life, not based on what's going on outside, because there's going to be a lot of fear projected at us, and it's going to lock people into a lot of terror if they take that on. You know, your life can be very different to what they're going to say that it's going to look like. So, you know, we've got to understand that these people use thought processes to control things, but you can do the same thing. You can use your own magnificent creator mind to create what you want. and keep fixated on that, and just allow yourself to be more soul-led. And when that happens, you'll find you'll have more opportunities come to you, more things will work out for you. So that's all I want to say today, and we'll talk further about that as we go along. So first, set the intention to have a really good year next year, to let yourself be more soul-led, okay? To become aware of what you're thinking, how it affects your body, what you're feeling in your body when you have certain thoughts that go against you. And know that it's affecting your health. Know that you have the power in you to choose different words. You know, ask yourself, are the words I'm using, are they empowering my health or are they disempowering it? Am I empowering others or disempowering others? These are questions you need to be asking, and you'll find that you'll get the solutions to operate in a different way in the world, and you'll have far better outcomes. All right, thanks for joining me today. Bye for now.